You know, every single day we see skylines changing, new buildings going up, and it's all thanks to construction crews. But what we don't always see is just how high stakes that environment is. Safety there isn't just, a suggestion. It's literally the blueprint for life. So let's get into it and break down the essential principles that keep these incredibly important sites safe. And when I say high stakes, I am not kidding. Check this out. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2022, nearly 1 out of every 5 workplace deaths in the entire United States happened in construction. Think about that for a second. 1 in 5. It's a really sobering number, and it's exactly why understanding these safety procedures is so critical.
So, when we talk about an accident, what are we actually talking about? Well, it's way more than just someone getting hurt. The source from Sapient Vendors defines it as any unforeseen event that messes up the workflow and causes damage, whether to property or to people. And that's a key distinction, right? It means a lot more incidents happen than actual injuries. And the whole goal here is to stamp out those dangerous conditions before they have a chance to cause any harm at all.
Okay, so to really get a handle on all this, we're going to build our understanding from the ground up, literally. We've just talked about the high stakes. Next, we'll dig into the foundation, which is all about safety culture and planning. Then we'll cover the gear and tools, what makes a worksite safe, and finally, what might be the most important piece of the puzzle, the aware worker.
All right, let's jump into that first part, the foundation of it all, culture and planning. Because honestly, before anyone even picks up a tool or puts on a hard hat, safety has to be a mindset. It's not something you do once, it's a habit. It has to be baked into every single task, every single day.
And this quote from Sapient Vendors it nails it. You can have all the best gear, the fanciest equipment, the thickest rule books in the world, but none of it matters if the people on site don't actually believe in and practice safety. It's got to be a shared value, something everyone from top to bottom truly believes in.
And you know where that culture starts? Right at the top. Management has to lead the way. This image from the International Labor Office shows it perfectly. Safety isn't just one person's job or one department's problem. Nope, it's this continuous cycle that's woven into everything, from the very first plans to the final nail. Leadership really does set the tone for the entire site.
So, what does a really solid safety policy look like? Well, it's got to be super clear, written down, leaving no room for guesswork. It has to cover things like training for everybody, at all levels. It needs to spell out safe ways to do the most hazardous jobs. It should clearly define what supervisors are responsible for, lay out how safety info gets shared, and even have a plan for how subcontractors fit into the safety system.
And here's what's really cool. These ideas aren't just from one place. They're universal. The sources for this whole explainer come from all over the map. We're talking a construction firm in Nigeria, a U.S. university, and the International Labor Office based in Geneva. This isn't just one person's opinion. It's a global consensus on what actually works to keep people safe. Okay, so we've got that cultural foundation in place. Now we can start talking about the physical side of things, the gear. Let's dive into the essential tools and equipment that act as a worker's first line of defense against all those hazards.
Personal protective equipment, or PPE as you'll always hear it called, is absolutely non-negotiable. And we're talking about a full head-to-toe system. You've got hard hats protecting your head, of course, safety glasses, or even face shields for your eyes and face, earplugs for when machinery gets loud, the right gloves for handling materials, and heavy, hard-soled boots to protect your feet. Oh, and you can't forget high-visibility vests to make sure you're seen, and safety harnesses, which are literal lifesavers if you're working up high.
And here's a great example of that system in action. You can see this worker is geared up for a high-noise job. He's got the hard hat, the eye protection, and the earmuffs all working together. It's not just a random collection of items, it's a complete integrated system designed for his specific task.
But here's something that's super important to remember. PPE doesn't last forever. A hard hat that's been sitting in the sun for years, it can get brittle and just won't protect you the way it's supposed to. All this gear has to be inspected all the time for wear and tear. Because you know what? Damaged equipment gives you a false sense of security, and that's dangerous. It's got to be replaced, no questions asked.
Okay, so our workers have the right mindset and the right gear. But what about the place they're actually working in? This brings us to the worksite itself. And the rule here is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. An organized site is a safe site. Period.
I mean, just look at this comparison. The difference is like night and day, isn't it? On the left, you've got this cluttered, chaotic mess. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Trips, falls, you name it. But on the right, clear pathways, organized materials, a little bit of planning, and just basic tidiness completely changes the game when it comes to risk.
So how do you get a site like the one on the right? It really comes down to simple, consistent habits. Things like keeping all the walkways and platforms totally clear, storing your materials properly, not just balanced on an edge somewhere, having a regular cleaning schedule and a plan for getting rid of waste, cleaning up spills the second they happen, and getting rid of little things like projecting nails right away. It's these small actions that prevent the big accidents.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most crucial layer of safety, the individual worker. Because at the end of the day, the most sophisticated safety tool on any construction site is a person who is focused, aware, and knows what they're doing.
You know, one of the most common injuries out there is a back strain from lifting something the wrong way. The right technique is a skill every single worker has to master. So here's how you do it. You bend at your hips and your knees, never your back. Keep that load in close to your body. And then lift with your powerful leg muscles. Whatever you do, do not twist your body while you're lifting. And maybe most importantly, know your limits. If something's too heavy, ask for help or grab a machine to do it.
This illustration from the International Labor Office shows it just perfectly. Look at the one on the left. All that strain is going right into the lower back. That's a recipe for disaster. But on the right, the power is coming from the legs, which protects the spine. It's such a small change in how you stand, but it makes a world of difference. Being aware also means knowing about the dangers in your environment. And heat stroke is a huge threat on these sites. Everyone needs to know the signs, things like headaches and feeling dizzy, having hot red skin, and here's the big one, the most dangerous sign of all, suddenly stopping your sweating. That's a major red flag. It means your body's cooling system has failed, and that is a true medical emergency.
And really, this brings us full circle, right back to where we started. A truly aware worker can only thrive inside a true culture of safety. And what that means is that every single person, from the brand new apprentice to the most seasoned foreman, feels totally comfortable and empowered to speak up if they see something unsafe. They can't be afraid to report a hazard. That kind of open communication, that's the glue that holds this entire safety system together.
So there you have it. Safety isn't just one thing. It's a whole system built on culture, the right gear, an organized site, and personal awareness. It's the blueprint for protecting the very people who build our world. So here's a thought for you. The next time you pass a construction site, what are you going to see differently? Are you going to notice the clean walkways, the workers in their PPE, the guardrails? What signs of a true safety culture will you be able to spot now?